I'm Lauren Cordes. Socialization, the act of mixing socially with others, whether it be with an older lady that lives down the street, in a church, or even simply with just family and friends. It is important for us as humans to live happy lives. Have you ever imagined what it'd be like to be homeschooled, or been afraid to be homeschooled because you didn't think you'd have friends? Well, I am here to tell you that people that are homeschooled do still have opportunities to communicate with people even if they are learning from home. Children that are homeschooled are often said to get more opportunities that better influence their socialization. They are exposed to more than just students and teachers. The typical perception of homeschooled people is that they lack the ability to socialize with people, since they learn from a home environment. Those people are said to be antisocial. Although many homeschoolers will tell you that being homeschooled gives them more freedom to emerge in their communities, which gives them more opportunities to communicate with people outside of their age group. Now I will show you this short video that will give you a more insight on what they think.
I love the question is how do you socialize? I think that's my favorite because I'm like,
Do you have any friends?
well, I'm talking to you right now and this is kind of how it works. It's a back and forth conversation. Like, how do you think I socialize? Like everybody else.
Every homeschool kid, that's like the first, either that or academics. That's always what people ask. Are you socialized? What does it mean to be socialized?
One of the things I like about my kids is that they're able to socialize with adults. You know, they're able to talk to adults like they're people, because I talk to my kids like they're people.
I can always tell when I'm interacting with a child if they have learned outside the classroom because they look me in the eye, they're comfortable talking with me, they're comfortable with themselves. It's so clear.
School is about preparing kids for the real world, but then we don't let them get involved in the real world for the whole time that they're in these institutions.
Somebody who's opposed to home education, the only thing they can pull out is, well, how do we know that they're being socialized? As if getting your lunch money stolen, getting beaten up on your way to class is socialization.
Now, I hope this video helps you to better understand what I will be talking about in this speech. Through the hands-on experiences that homeschooled children engage in, they are taught valuable life skills. Homeschooled children are more prepared to face adulthood than children that are in public or private schools due to the life skills they inherit from getting involved. Young people that are homeschooled are influenced by adults rather than their peers in a public school. Researcher Thomas Smedley stated that in the public school system, children are socialized horizontally and temporarily into conformity with their immediate peers. Home educators seek to socialize their children vertically towards responsibility, service, and adulthood with an eye on eternity. Learning from adults makes younger students more mature and act more responsibly because they see the adults acting more maturely and responsibly, which makes homeschooled children typically more mature compared to kids that are in a public school. Thomas Smedley also conducted a study to show the maturity levels of homeschoolers versus public school children and saw a significant difference between the two. Homeschooled children ranked in the 84th percentile for maturity, but public schools only placed at the 27th percentile. Kate Freakus, who has been homeschooled her whole life, tells upon her reaction as she entered college. She described people as childish because everyone wanted to drink and party. She said that homeschooling helped her find out who she is and what she wants to do and what she is there for, which shows the matureness that comes from being homeschooled. Most of students' responsibility and maturity is learned from interacting with adults or people that are other than their peers in school. People that are homeschooled are exposed to people of all age groups. This helps their socialization and ability to communicate with people of all ages rather than simply the kids they go to school with. Socialization is not a problem for most people that are homeschooled. They engage themselves in opportunities that allow them to talk to different types of people that may be from different cultures. The woman we talked about before, Kate Freakus, has had many opportunities being homeschooled that a public school would never give her. At age 12, she started visiting regularly an elderly woman in a nursing home. By age 15, she was a lay clergy member in her synagogue and auditing a course at Princeton University. She says, people for some reason define socialization for kids as only interacting with kids. But if socialization means only interacting with kids that are exactly the same age as you, then that seems pretty narrow. According to Homeschool Legal Defense Association, homeschoolers are more prepared for the real world due to their hands-on experiences. Homeschooled children can participate in the same activities that public or private school children do. Homeschoolers are heavily involved in church youth groups, 4-H clubs, music and art lessons, sports participation, YMCA, sports, singing groups, activities with neighborhood children, academic contests such as spelling bees or creative and research papers, and regularly involving in field trips. In 1997, researcher Brian Ray conducted a study and found that homeschooled children were involved in an average of 5.2 activities per week. Researchers also found that homeschooled children often participate in more activities compared to the average public school student. Young people that are homeschooled spend a lot of time interacting with their environment, which is very influential in learning than the public school. Since it is made such a priority in homeschooling, they are given more opportunities to interact with their environment. Public schools are not giving many opportunities that are off school grounds. In my own experience, I have never gone on a field trip in my high school career. And I have only been offered to go on one, but I wasn't able to engage myself in that opportunity because it interacted and interfered with my other classes. In public school, students are forced to sit in classes that deprive them of real-life opportunities. Instead of being locked up in school gates in what some would call an artificial setting, characterized by bells and forced silence, homeschoolers frequently move their classrooms to fire departments, hospitals, museums, repair shops, city halls, national parks, churches, and colleges, where they can experience real community interaction and contact with different people. Homeschooling gives students more time to have jobs and take college courses. Did you know only 18% of high school students have jobs that are in a public school rather than being homeschooled? Homeschool students have 78% of students that are employed. Having jobs, volunteering, or community service gives students many opportunities to communicate with people of all cultures. Knowing how to communicate effectively is a very important aspect of life, and homeschoolers have proven to be very sociable when compared to young people in public schools. Young people that experience in-home learning are given many opportunities to communication, which defeats the common perception of many homeschoolers being antisocial. Young people that are homeschooled just get enough, if not more, opportunities to communicate and socialize with more people than in public school. If the 4 million children in the United States that are homeschooled were deprived of socialization, the students would be physically and psychologically devastated, according to Communication Matters. Homeschooled children are more socially involved compared to students that are in public school due to their heavy involvement in their community, which help their maturity level rise and their communication skills increase. I encourage you to all remember what William Butler Yeats once said: "Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire." Thank you.